What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, we're here with Tawana Roberts. Now, we're going to talk to her a little bit, about her life. She was caught up with the feds. You definitely got to hear the story about how she was caught up with the feds, but I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to let her tell it. So, Tawana, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Let's just get straight to it. So my name's Tawana Roberts. I was active duty Army for 17 years. I did 2 tours to Korea, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Jordan. In Afghanistan, I ran a dining facility because I was a 92 golf. What? Get down, 92 get downs. And I also was told to be on a female engagement team that I didn't have training for, but because I was a E6 and I had a vagina, like they made me be in that position. And that was one of the scariest times of my life because we really was on some like getting shot at stuff. And like, I wasn't trained. Like I didn't feel comfortable going out there with soldiers, but that's a whole nother story. But I was in the Army for 17 years and I wasn't even like, I was an awesome NCO. Like I love my soldiers like they were my kids. If you were a dirtbag, I pretty much let you know. My upbringing, I had parents around, but I never had people really guiding me or whatever. Like at an early age, like
Tawana, I hate to interject, but because you telling your story, awesome. Let's start on the parents. Like where did you grow up?
I grew up everywhere. I grew up Navy.
Okay, you was a military child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so what, both your parents in the military or just like one of them?
No, it was my stepfather.
Okay, it was your stepfather. Mm-hmm. So what place, like you just constantly moving around all the time?
Yeah, we moved around a lot. So I was always the new girl. I pretty much looked the same as I looked when I was younger. So I always had to like pretty much prove myself to anybody. Like I always got picked on because the guys always want the new girl or whatever. So I always had to fight and do all that other type of stuff because I don't know, that's just how it was for me. But like I said, I did have a stepfather, but he went out to sea all the time. So he was gone for like 6 months at a time. And then it would just be my mom. But my mom wouldn't really be there like that. So
let me ask you a question. You say your mom wouldn't be there like that, but yet she was in the house. Or like, why was she so distant?
I'm not sure. I've always been the black sheep of the family. Always.
She has or you have?
I have.
Okay, so, but let's get back to mom. How did that affect you with her just being, maybe present in the house, but just distant as a parent?
Well, first I want to say my mother, without my mother, I don't think I would be where I'm at today because through my military career, she's the one that always kept my son. She always watched my son for me if I had to do something because she always wanted me to retire from the military. But I remember being 14 years old and going to my mother and letting her know that her husband touched me and she didn't believe me. So from even when I was locked up, like it's crazy because my blood sisters, my mother, like they talked about me the worst. Like I've always been a black sheep and I've never done anything wrong. But the fact that her nigga touched me and my sister's dad touched me, like that's the only thing. Like I would walk in on them talking about me. So like it's a very touchy situation because who doesn't want to have like a bond with their mother and their blood sisters? Who doesn't want to have that bond? And I don't know why they don't like me.
So she was distant from you because was she trying to blame you for why her husband was touching her daughter?
I'm not sure. Even recently, like I sent a text, like you wonder why, like I jumped around from man to man and like I never felt protected by a black man, but you let the man, and you're still married to him to this day, like you let him touch me, like that doesn't make sense. And even when I text that, like she'd be on some shit like, well, the truth will come out eventually and God knows the truth. And like, even my best friends, they're like, Tawana, you've had the same story since we've known you for 20 years. Cause I have 3 best friends. Like my story hasn't changed since I was 14. Like I wanted a job at Winn-Dixie. I wanted to bag groceries. Like I've always been on my grind. Like I used to go around cutting grass. Like they would give me the money. Like I'm a female hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like I always wanted my own. And that time that I just needed a little help, and that was a ride from my stepfather. You know, he was on some type of shit like, if you want to ride, like, you got to do this. Like, I know as a 14-year-old, like, I'm not supposed to be jacking you off. You're not supposed to be French kissing me. You're not supposed to be kissing me on my titties. You know what I'm saying? And I went to her when she was pregnant with my youngest sister, and like, she did not believe me until this day. Like, I even text my middle sister, like, this is what happened. Like, we would literally be about to fight in her yard. Like, you never sent dad a Father's Day card, but why would I? Like, that nigga's not my dad. Like, when I tell you I've never felt protected by the black man, I've never felt protected by the black man. I got 2 deadbeat baby daddies that I stopped fucking with them because they used to beat my ass. Like, they used to cheat on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother went to jail early. In the army, niggas, I used to be on missions and niggas would try to touch on me, or I would try to go report some shit because niggas would try to fuck on me. But I just knew my job. Like, I'm not on that. I know I can get ahead with my job and my knowledge. Like, stop all that. Like, I just want to keep it professional. Like, I'm trying to get to where y'all at, but y'all be on some nut shit. But I end up getting in trouble when I speak my mind or whatever. That's why when I tell you, like, I'm never going to shut up about what the army did to me, about what the feds did to me, because that shit was dead ass wrong. Like, I ain't do shit. Like, I ain't do nothing. Like, I was even to the point when they was offering me plea deals, like, God, if you want me to take this motherfucking time, like, just make sure my kids are straight. Like, I'm not taking no plea deals because only the guilty do that. I didn't do nothing. I'm not going to lie on that. And then they wanted me to lie on that nigga. Yeah, that shit hurt me when the nigga was cheating on me. Like, I seen videos of the nigga cheating on me because with a discovery, you get it all. I seen videos of the nigga cheating on me, and I'm still so motherfucking loyal that I'm not getting a black man in trouble. Y'all figure that shit out on your own. And since I told them that, now I'm your partner. Since I wouldn't say that I'm a victim, now I'm his partner. But the crazy part is that I didn't have to snitch on nobody. I ain't had to do nothing but pray and keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I got footage where I fell asleep on the motherfucking feds. I fell asleep on them. They got so mad at me, and I be cold. Anybody that know me, don't put me in a cold place because a bitch be cold. Like, I be cold all the time. I need a blanket. Like, I don't do the cold. You know what I'm saying? They took that motherfucking blanket off of me, and they was like, let's go. And for 9 months, I did not see the light of day. I got sent to the hole when I first got there. I got sent to the hole, told them they ain't know how the other inmates would handle me. Bitch, what? And I'm going to keep it real 100. I was in there, but I treated that bitch like a deployment. I was one of the hardest bitches in there. I started a fellowship gossiping about God. You know what I'm saying? I went to the hole 2 times because I was so angry. Like, I didn't know how to let that shit off. I already had PTSD and severe PTSD and sexual trauma. They was about to send me to a treatment center. I was stationed in Hawaii. The Army was about to send me to a treatment center for 30 days for severe PTSD and sexual trauma before this wrongful incarceration happened by the feds, January 6th. Some paper was signed off like January 2nd for me to go to that treatment facility. December 13th, my house was raided, guns pointed everywhere at me, like I thought I was in a movie. That shit was worse than a deployment, and I done seen dead bodies. That shit was worse than a fucking deployment.
With Tawana, you're definitely telling us the story, and I want to fill in a lot of holes because you kind of jumped in a lot of places. Now let me go back to something that would kind of trigger your response here. After you got an adult and you still see your mom with a pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, that's what I look at as a pedophile. Have you tried to go to any counseling to anybody because you still have a lot of that weighed on you?
I did. I'm actually in counseling now. Like, when I really needed help, the pandemic jumped off. So I didn't really get the counseling that I need. I just prayed, and I started drinking a lot, like heavy, like to the point where liquor it tastes like water to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hurt. I was lost. And this is after me figuring it out. But prior to that, I went to get help. Like, y'all have to realize I married a ex-death row inmate. Like, that guy was on death row for 7 years. He spent 6 of those 7 years in solitary confinement when I was locked up for those 9 months, I spent 2 times in solitary confinement. The first time, 5 days. The second time, 21 days. That shit's gonna make you lose your fucking mind or get a relationship with God. And luckily for me, it ended up showing me like, God wants your attention. And when he got my attention, like, it was a wrap since then. And my mother, I don't even want to like play her like that, you know what I'm saying? Because my mother, that's my mother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love her to death, but it's just a lot of stuff that she did, like even to this day, like it's not cool, you know what I'm saying? But as far as you call him a pedophile, like I never even really looked at it like that, but that's what it is. Like I feel like maybe I wasn't saying nothing because I felt bad about it, or I didn't want the family to look at him differently. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather be the bad guy and people look at me like, oh, she's the bad child, she's wild or whatever. But nobody ever wanted to look at like, well, what's making her act like that? What makes her like jump from man to man and all this other stuff? But I don't want to get too off track. So ask me another question.
Yeah. Let me get to that. So due to you being the victim of pedophiles, because you mentioned another pedophile, you said some sister's brother. You said
what
earlier?
happened?
You mentioned that the stepfather. You mentioned somebody else.
I'm saying that. So I have 2 blood sisters, but that's their father. That's not my father.
Okay.
So I'm saying like even with when I tell you like I don't know, like I be trying, and I just recently had to get over the fact that even though they're my blood, like I gotta let them go. You know what I'm saying? Like because I be trying so hard and it be hurting my feelings because I'm like, damn, everybody else see how dope I am, but how my own blood sisters are like I'm trying to be big sis, but I had to get over the fact that I didn't do nothing wrong, and that's on y'all. Y'all gotta figure that out.
Well,
So
I'm the
that's what I
type of
mean when I
person.
say like that's their father. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's not my dad.
Well, yeah. I mean, what happened to you? Obviously, you're going to feel that way. I mean, you was a victim of a pedophile. Let's call it what it is.
But
And
for
it's
a long time, I didn't feel like that because I wasn't even protecting him. It's the fact that if my own mama like don't believe me, you know what I'm saying? And even years later, when that's a hard subject for me to bring up, even after the wrongful incarceration and me getting back on my feet and just me being reunited with my kids again, and my own mother, like I just feel like she's against me and she still don't understand why I'm the way I am. Like it's just heartbreaking.
well, okay. So you grew up and you went to the military. Okay.
As soon as I
And
graduated high school, I was
Tubebuddy
out.
High School. You
Mhm.
mentioned you have 2 different children from 2 different men, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first baby father. Let's talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like why did you get with him?
He was my shift leader. I was E3. I just came into the military. Although, like my mother, how her upbringing was, like we couldn't talk to boys on the phone. Like I used to sneak around doing stuff. So when I went into the military, I'm not gonna lie, like off rip, like I'm buck wild. I was from like I stayed in the South most, like Florida, Key West, Jacksonville, stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? That's what I know. So when I met a New York nigga, I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like I love the accent, the swag, all that. And then he was in charge of me, you know what I'm saying? He had a little pull. Like I always like the boss. I don't like the employees. I like the boss. You know what I'm saying? So he was the boss. So then we start politicking and doing whatever. And then I ended up getting pregnant by him.
So you said buck. What does buck wild mean? What were you doing?
Like going out partying, drinking, like to the point where I never really drank. Like I always, partaked in, I call it sage or whatever, but I never really drank. So when I went into the military, I'm drinking and stuff. I'm mixing brown with white. Like I'm not knowing no better. Like
You mixing brown and whites?
Look, I'm walking backwards and stuff.
Oh,
like, and
wow.
then, and then in El Paso, I was stationed in Fort Bliss, my first duty station at 18. You can drink if you're in the military.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
So like
That's crazy.
and
That's crazy. You could drink in the military, but if you're civilian, you can't drink.
Huh?
I say you in 18, you could drink in the military, but a civilian, you gotta wait till you're 21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
not
in
the military, in El Paso, Texas, and in Fort Bliss, where I was stationed at, that was the rule.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got with dude. Okay, y'all fooling with each other. I mean, but now you think back on it, why did you allow yourself to get pregnant though?
I don't don't know. I think I was young and naive. And then like at the same time, like I got pregnant off Depo. Like I was on the shot for a long time. My mother put me on the shot early, Depo Provera, but I got pregnant on Depo. So my son was meant to be here.
Oh, okay. So basically, even though you had Depo, y'all wasn't using protection.
No, we wasn't.
Okay. And
but that's the thing, like like when I tell you I learned everything on my own through experience, like even to the little stuff, like I know that you're supposed to scrub your inner thigh, you know what I'm saying, so it don't be black.
Oh yeah, mama, that's something mama should have taught you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like even though I had 2 adults in the household, like I ain't really have it like that. Like when I got into military, and that's when I started to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really sheltered and then not trained. You know what I'm saying? Not taught shit. Like life taught me shit. Going through shit taught me stuff.
All right. Yeah, that's life. Okay. The first one, young, got it. How old were you when the second child came?
Let me see. My daughter 5 now. So her like 32.
You were 32. Okay, so you were way past. I'm just young. What happened with that one?
My best friend. She was one of my best friends ever. She had got killed by her husband. So I went on that little app, Plenty of Fish. He was one of them guys that made me laugh when I was sad as fuck. So I was already in the Army. He was in Alabama. I was in the Army, and I was like, I don't want no long distance relationship shit. Come to where I'm at. But I'm so naive and square like at the time that I'm not realizing that, yeah, you said you was a felon, but it's going to be hard for you to get a job in El Paso, Texas, because it's mostly Mexicans. Like if you're not bilingual, because I remember being pregnant with my son, my first pregnancy in El Paso trying to get a job. If you're not bilingual, it's hard. So him being a felon, like it was even harder for him to get a job. But I got to the point where like he had to go because he was just disrespectful, like not even brushing his teeth and waking up telling bitches, "Hey, beautiful," on Plenty of Fish and stuff like that. And then
wait, Tawana, hold on. 2 things that you said. I gotta ask a question. You said you were 32 years old by this time.
Yeah.
Why did you say you were naive at 32? See, the 21, I think 21.
I really was, because I've done so many.
At 32?
Yes, at 32.
In the military?
Like I even after that wrongful incarceration with that ex-death row inmate, I gave him another chance, and it still took me some time to figure out. Let me tell you something. One thing about me, like it might take me a second to figure it out, but when I figure it out, I fucking figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, at 32, at 38, I'm just now still figuring it out.
Oh, Lord. Okay. You say he wasn't brushing his teeth. You didn't figure that out on the first date?
He wasn't brushing his teeth, but I'm being funny. Like, nigga, you wouldn't even go brush your teeth. You smoking a Newport and talking to bitches on the internet. Like, you know, sometimes as soon as you wake up, you jump on social media.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. It's okay to jump on social media because, listen, I wake up and I get on social media, but you know what? It's my job and it provides for my household.
Right, and that's
I have
what I'm saying.
for it.
So when I seen him jumping on Plenty of Fish and I'm supporting you and taking care of your grown ass, now I have a problem.
Okay. Why did you think it was okay for you to take care of a grown man? Because see, we got to really get down to this because you're not the only woman that's ever done this. Okay.
Right. No.
Especially in the Black community. Why some Black women, and listen, I know other people say other women do it. I don't care about what other women do. We don't talk about other women. We don't talk about Black people. Hold on. I'm addressing the audience. I want to let them know. I don't care about what other women do. We talking about what Black people do. So why is it okay to take care of a dude that sounded like he was a loser from the beginning? Why? Why did you take care of him? I want to know that.
It's not okay. I took care of him because I thought of it like, if I bring him around me, you know what I'm saying? He see how I'm bossed up. He see how I'm doing good. And I'm trying to better him and make him a better dude. Like it was even to the point where I'm giving him money to make sure that he pays, like he gives money to his son, which years later, he found out it wasn't his son. But I've always been that type of chick. Like I want my Black men to do good. I want everybody to boss up. Like you should be uncomfortable with having a woman take care of you, but I was doing it because I wanted him to win. I don't want to be going out and I'm uncomfortable because I know I gotta pay. Like who want to go out like that? Who want to do stuff like that?
Tawana?
Yes.
everything you just said, man, it's a few things. You played the role of a man.
Mm-hmm. I have.
I mean,
And
what you
that's why
just said,
when
I
people
want him to
say,
win. That's how a man that got some sort of sense, a man that is accomplished, a man of means would say, yeah, I want her to win. I want to show her, that I got myself together. I could take care of her. Like that right there. Just
absolutely. And I know all that now. It just took me more situations than I wanted it to take me to figure that out. Like,
okay. And then you end up getting pregnant by him.
yes, I did.
How
On birth
long into the
control still.
situation? How long into the
Are we
situation
here
you
to
got?
talk about like how I got pregnant by a deadbeat? Or here to talk about like what I want to talk
No.
about?
Well, it's part of your story because when you went and you brought up, you said you two deadbeat in words. That's just part of your story. I'm not saying the action. I'm just saying like it's part of leading up to your final conclusion of the person you got with that you got. They got you in trouble. So it has to do with just a story. So that we just telling the story. It's not no judgment. It's life. It happens, but we just want to know who you are and why you come across the way you come across. It's just your story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I have to ask that question. So how long into the situation did you get pregnant by?
Let's see. When I met him, like I was immediately like come down here. You know what I'm saying? So we were spending a lot of time together. But now that I look back on it, like there's no way I would have been like a man like him. I would have been with a man like him, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy it happened because my daughter's here. And
no, you always gonna love your children, but okay. But you didn't give us a timeline.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, like I'm just here to talk about like what the feds did wrong. Like I'll deal with my
okay,
daddy
and we gonna get to that. Okay, so
okay.
okay. I see it's kind of sensitive for you. Okay.
Right.
So
like you should know that. Like I already just talked about my mother. Like that's very sensitive. Like who don't want to be cool with their mother? Like then you're gonna go into the deadbeat baby daddies. Like let's move on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And the reason why I go through that because once you put it out there, then the audience or even
like they're not
myself
about
gonna
to know
ask.
everything. They'll see it in the book. They'll see it on the
Oh,
movie.
okay. All right, Tawana. Like I said, we just doing our job over here. Okay, now let's get to the last person you did. When did you meet the last person in the military that now you had issues with the feds?
What last person?
Okay, you say you got in trouble while you was in the military with the feds, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did that happen? Who did you meet?
Oh, Isaiah McCoy.
Okay, well, see, I was asking you to say his name, but okay, you said his name.
Why
not? Well, you didn't say the other two guys' names, so I wasn't asking you for names, but okay, hey, it's your story.
What? I'm not gonna give them deadbeats no exposure unless y'all trying to find them for child support.
No, I don't do the child support thing.
Okay, then we don't need to bring them up.
All right,
so all in the rears.
Okay. Oh well, you said they were deadbeats, so that kind of we kind of put you together on that. Like I said, me personally, I tell all men pay your child support. That's not nothing you want at all. Like I said, I pay child support and I have a zero balance. Thank God, I got a few more years, not long, and I'm done. With that, you met the guy that you had gotten into the trouble with. What year were you in the military?
I was into my 16th year.
Okay, 16th year. Okay. Mm-hmm. So not too many years from retirement. So, you had mentioned earlier that he had a past, he was on death row. But how did you meet him?
I met him at a club in Hawaii, like Waikiki. I was just out. I had a good babysitter at that time, so I was able to go out and just because when I got to Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, I got there pregnant. So when I finally was able to have some fun, it was around that time when I met him going out.
Okay, now I'm kind of confused. You say you got to Hawaii pregnant or okay, what from was it?
I got to Hawaii in 2015. February. So I was like 6 months pregnant when I got to Hawaii. So I'm not doing nothing while I'm pregnant. And then I'm just, what I'm saying? Then I have my baby. So I'm a single parent in the military. So I'm not able to do nothing. So I'm just working, taking care of my kids. And then I also had my son at the time. So I'm taking care of my kids by myself. So I didn't really have like a social life.
Okay, so just based off of some of definitely the second one you told us about in El Paso, and you went through all that situation. We talked about that, and now you know about this guy and his situation. Even though you met him, you find out about his situation, like nothing about him. Say, oh hell no, I'm not dealing with this again.
This is the thing, that the time that I met him, and let's go back to the never feeling protected as a Black woman. The time I met him, like I had just got royally screwed over in the Army for like the umpteenth time, you know what I'm saying? Like, and part of it had to do because I didn't want to be sexually involved with someone in higher ranks of me, you know what I'm saying? So they just started fucking with me, basically, the person that was in charge of me. So when I met him, I was just coming from like a 2-month field problem that wasn't even on the island that I was stationed on anymore. I was away from my daughter. I had to pay money for somebody to watch my daughter so I could still perform my military duties. Mind you, I'm not getting no help from the father. You know what I'm saying? Like the Army's on some shit like we didn't issue a child, so I got to make it happen. So like it was a lot. So when they sent me there, and I even had put in place where my replacement, the same rank as me, the same qualifications and everything, a male that could have took my place, that wouldn't have to go through the same things as me as a single parent. And not saying that I use being a single parent as an excuse, because I remember with my son, when I only had my son, I would pay for a sitter before I had to go to work, pay for a sitter during the day while I'm at work, and for after work, because being a 92 golf in the military is very hard because your hours are different. You can ask anybody. People feel sorry for the cooks. So even when it came to my daughter, I wouldn't try to use that as an excuse. But when I put somebody in place so I don't have to leave my daughter, and she probably was, because I had a year party for her when I got back from that field exercise, which was like 2 months or whatever. But she probably was like 10 months. You know what I'm saying? Like it was no reason for me to leave them in the military. The chain of command, I'm not even gonna say the Army, the chain of command that I was in forced me to go to a field problem that I didn't have to go to, because one, I was already trained and proficient in them. I've gotten awards that, you don't get awards for doing a field problem. But since I excel at everything I do, like I would get awards for these field problems. And I even set up a dining facility. I remember setting up a dining facility, and they still sent me out to where I had to like go into the like nature pretty much and like set up something. And I'm telling them there's no way I can put wooden stakes and boulders, big ass rocks. Like there's no way. I'm asking the E7 that I disregarded his sexual advances. I'm asking him on FaceTime, can you just come out here and show me how to do this? And he still wouldn't do it. But I got a sergeant major in my ear. Oh, I'm hearing that it's not because you can't do it, it's because you don't want to do it. But it's not humanly possible for me to hit a wooden stake into boulders, big ass rocks. It's not possible. And when I'm asking for help, I'm not getting that. So when I'm going back and I'm saying that I need help, this guy is doing this guy is doing that, all I want to do is get to the rank that he's at. I just want, professional leadership, because I never really had that. I never even had that in the military. Like, to be honest, I don't even know how to shoot for real. Like, I used to put on an eye patch. I can't wink. This how I wink. Like that. I don't know how to wink. And basic training, the drill sergeant would get in the foxhole with me and tell me when to shoot. When I was in Afghanistan,
I'll say, well, that's not good.
Right. When I'm in Afghanistan, I'm telling them I'm not properly trained to feel comfortable going out there. We're getting shot at and having soldiers under me. And they're still like, oh, well, you're an E6. You have a vagina. You're going to go out there.
Well, let me ask you a question. You mentioned this more than once about, advances from, the higher ups. I mean, don't the military have, strict rules against that?
They're supposed to. But when you say something about it, you lose rank, or you get sent to another camp, or they just basically sweep it under the rug. And one of the biggest things for me, like as a Black woman, like I'm not racist or anything, but like I love my brothers. Like I don't date outside my race. So even when guys like that approach me, I feel disrespected. Like it's not gonna happen. So then when I have somebody that outranks me, like I'm on a deployment and I have a whole sergeant major coming to me like, hey, make sure you, like having me come up to him, stand at parade rest, everything, like it's some business type stuff. Come wake me up in the morning. And I'm like, sergeant major, you don't have no alarm clock? You know what I'm saying? Like just little stuff like that, like the stuff we go through as women, period, in the military. Like, and that's why I thank God that I'm not in the military right now. I thank God I'm not in the military right now because I could not do it. Like, even if they told me you got to put on a uniform to go sign out to get your 20 years retirement, like I could not do it. My mind could not do it. Like I would be cussing everybody out. Because the military is like a cult.
So do you feel, based on your experience, and you look at the story that happened, even, you know, Fort Hood has been in the news a lot with the young lady that got killed, Vanessa Guillen. Do you feel the American military is a place for Black people, or specifically Black women?
Yeah, if you have a strong backbone and you know how to work the system and don't let them work you. But if you're not knowledgeable and you're gullible, they will eat you alive. They do not care about you at all. At all. You're just a number. I used to try to go visit my family, spend time with my family or my kids, being a single parent in the military. And they would make it like I was so mission essential. So mission essential. But the second some charges come about me, they kick me out and throw me out like I'm a piece of trash. I'm just another number. Y'all are just another number to them. Like, when I tell you that I feel like this genocide stuff is so real, because you can literally have a Caucasian, or it depends on who you sucking a fucking soldier on this side, and then an African-American soldier do the same exact thing. This person's going to stay in, the Caucasian, the sucking the dick or whoever, they're going to stay in, they're going to sweep it under the rug, they're going to retire, they're going to make sure they get all their benefits. But that Black person, that African-American, oh, you getting kicked the fuck out, and you looking like scum. It don't matter what you did. It don't matter how many times you got shot out, how many injuries you got. You won't have to fight for that shit, and fight hard. Like, it's not fair.
Well, this is my opinion. I'm talking about me, my opinion, what I have said. Based off of what you said and other Black people I've talked to have stated about the military, I don't believe Black Americans should be in the military until they pay us our reparations. They criminalize racism. They for sure stop saying the N-word, and they have strict laws of equality. If we don't have that, I don't want. Why should we keep fighting for them for?
Look,
for what? They don't appreciate what we've done for them.
All the things to fight for. At one point, do you know the military tried to fight to bring the word back Negro, making it okay for officers to call us Negro? Like,
wow.
I'll send you the documentation later. But I was active duty at the time, and I remember them bringing up that word, and I was on some shit like, I wish the fuck an officer would call me Negro. I'll show you a motherfucking Negro. You know what I'm saying? Out of all things to like enhance and make better and make the military a better installation, y'all want to bring back the word Negro?
Once again, that's why I said what I said. See, I didn't even know all that, but that's why I said.
I'm telling you, like I brought it up not too long ago on my Facebook, and people were like, I didn't know that. I remembered that. Oh, I didn't know. I'm like, yes, that's why when I tell you, like, I just be biting my tongue because I'm not my ancestors, and they let's just say they picked the right Black girl, because my Black life matters.
Man, like I said, we don't belong in their situation. We don't. We listen. You know, I always say that people that got the training, they should train the people in the community to know how to defend themselves. Other than that, we don't need to be a part of that. So that's crazy. That's crazy. See, I never could. I know that when I was young, they wanted me to go to the military, and I'm like, nah. I don't like nobody to be able to talking me crazy in my face.
Right.
I don't. The basic training thing I wouldn't get down with, because I'm looking at some, Mzungu telling me stuff, and I'm like, man, who are you? You know what I'm saying? So I say, nah.
I swear to this day, I don't know how I made it. Like, there was a little drill sergeant, the other descent, like, and he's so little, so he like doing this to us. So first of all, you a joke, because little people, period, like, don't do that. But even that's what irritated with my mother so bad, because like I have this online store. I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing, like branding myself, like building an empire, so my children don't have to go down that road. And she instills the military on him so hard, and it irritates me, because I'm like, even with me, like, and I know that's why she took care of my son like that, because she really wanted me to retire at 20 years. Hell, I thought that's all I could do, because that's what was poured into me. You know what I'm saying? But like, you're right. That's not it. Like, the military is not for us. It's not.
Well,
unless you got the ones in there really like going through, speaking up for us, and like making a difference. Like, it's not for us.
Like, what military person you serve with that's just off of military alone are generals right now? The problem with black people.
Well, I'm gonna say zero. Don't do that.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you saying they have systemic racism in the military. It's Jim Crow sound like it in a lot of ways from what you describe, and it's straight Jim Crow in the military on top of some old plantation gutter sex that they're trying to do with black women. Because I've definitely been told by people in the military that those Mzungus, which is the Swahili for white, those Mzungus sit up there and try to do gutter sex with the black women in the military. In other words, he do the most nasty of the nastiest things to black women in the military. And like you said, they want you to slut yourself out so you can get a rank.
And it's so hard because even as a black woman, and I would feel it, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're in tune with yourself, like I would feel it, like some of the males. And the crazy part is like, it would even be some African-American males, like males just don't want people to be in charge of them, period. But them Trump supporters and them, you know what I'm saying? Them Caucasians, they do not want to listen to an African-American woman that's in charge of them. Like that was my worst trouble. And even when I would try to do the justice of writing up the paperwork, sending up to hire, and then the hire would be of the same descent of them. So it was like a little boys club. But me being the type of person I am, like I'm always gonna say what I gotta say. Like, and I never was like for that, but I don't care because right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I was to do it, I would be in trouble.
Right. So
what makes it different when this same person does the same exact thing multiple times in some situations, and I can pull up some stuff and send you receipts, the same exact thing, and get to stand in arms and look like they're so honorable and like they're just serving their motherfucking country. But they snorting powder with the motherfucking soldiers, or they sleeping with the soldiers. And even when you try to still like stay within standards and do the right thing as an NCO, how can you listen to someone that's in higher ranking of you not doing the same? Like, it's not possible. And I'm not going to act like I was perfect because my way of thinking may be a little different because I'm very blunt. I'll be that type of NCO that your nails are fucking dirty. Who the fuck want to eat from you? Like we're cooks. But if you work good, I'll make a shift out of 2 soldiers. Oh, we ain't about to work all day. You working early, you working late. And I'm working with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if they would show that it's favoritism, whatever. No, it's not favoritism. It's I take care of my soldiers. I just treat my soldiers like my kids. So you know what I'm saying? It just really bothers me when, and I even have a neighbor, when I have black soldiers tell me, after I tell them my story a little bit, when I have them tell me like, oh, well, it always happens to black people. That's just how it goes. I said, but the difference between me and y'all is like, I'll start it. I'll be that Rosa Parks if I have to, but I'll start it. You know what I'm saying? But it has to start with me. What y'all did was wrong. I don't give a fuck if nobody ever fought y'all before. Y'all was wrong. And I'm never going to shut up. And if I have to be the one to start that for everybody else to come forward with their stories too, because it's not right. It's not right. You can't do it for one race and not do it for the other. You can't apply these standards and these rules in right and black and white and say that they apply to me, but they don't apply to the same person to the same exact thing. That don't make sense.
Yeah. Tawana, no, you're wrong. It makes plenty of sense. See, what happens is, unfortunately, you got a good lesson in white supremacy, and you got to literally see how you said that these, Caucasian, Mzungu, whatever, they do whatever the hell they want, break all the rules they want. You report it. It's like that in the civilian world too. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to circle our wagons and be more on code with each other. And like I said before, when it comes to that military, let them fight their own battles. I mean, think about it, like Muhammad Ali said. Look, Muhammad Ali said when he won the Vietnam, and say the Viet Cong ain't called me no N-word. So I'm like, why are we fighting their battle? They shoot us in the back 15, 20 times. Like, why are we doing that as black people?
Right, absolutely.
It don't.
Absolutely. And that's
you go in there and risk your life for them, and you still come home being called an N-word. Like, why? I don't understand.
Like Martin Luther King, I'm like, I respect our ancestors so much because I couldn't imagine getting rocks thrown at me and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I wish that Martin would have really, really preach like us staying within each other, because I kind of feel like he made it like we had to support the white people, but everything that they was doing, we could have did it if we would have stayed with them, you know what I'm saying, amongst one another. Like maybe it wouldn't be that division, even when black people start their own stuff. Maybe it wouldn't be that division like, oh, that's some janky ghetto ass shit, and they just go to the white people, you know what I'm saying, because we're just now starting out.
Now, let me tell you something, Tawana. A long time ago, when it was talking about the strategy, like in my platform, also it was asking, okay, well, how you want to do? You want to go on these mainstream shows? You want to do this? You want to do that? I say, nope. I want to do everything on my own. I say I fall and rise by the people, that I'm catering to, and my show is only catered to black people worldwide. Now, anybody can watch, but I'm not trying to cross over. Like I said, listen, we the cool kids. I ain't got to cross over to them. For what? You know what I'm saying?
That. Why I was just telling somebody today, because
I don't have to change my show for them. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for us.
Because I pay people to tell me how to move and maneuver, and at the end of the day, they'll be like, delete this, delete that, like you're not gonna get this, and I'll be uncomfortable. And then I finally got to the point where, because like being with that ex that throw inmate, like my self-esteem was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like my self-esteem was gone. Like it's back now. Like can't nobody tell me nothing. But like to the point where I was like, I wanted to say that. Like, why should I have to delete it? If somebody doesn't like that, they're just not my audience. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, you're not going to get no GoFundMe. You're not going to get some support from that. I don't care. Because if I tell my truth and I stand on my truth, it don't matter who rock with me. Because if you rock with me, you real. And if you don't, oh, well, fuck how you feel. Like, I don't know how many cuss words you can get, but I'm working on that.
No, you good. You good. No, be you. Before you started, I was saying be yourself. I'm not stopping you from being you. I like your energy. I like how you are. Don't change that for nobody. Cuss people out if you need to. Do your thing. I'm not stopping you. It's your freedom of expression.
Yeah, no, but I'm really trying to be on some stuff, because I had a first sergeant. You know what I'm saying? I thank the military for the people that I met in the experience. I had a first sergeant that could eat somebody alive without using no cuss words. So I am trying to get to that point. Like even when I was locked up, I used to have my little group. We'll do push-ups like per cuss word. Like it's 10 push-ups. So I'm back on that again, because even with the public speaking, like I said, this is my first interview. So I really want to be able to voice my point without like trying to always cuss somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Like.
No, but we touching some subjects that's gearing some emotion. So I get it. Like I said, sometimes just talking about something and letting that out sometimes is a healing process, right?
Yeah.
So trust me, I've done interviews that really helped me out. Definitely in the past, just talking with somebody, even with their story. So but let's get to the main thing that you say you wanted to talk about. So we go back to homeboy you met in Hawaii. How long were you with him before you got in trouble with the feds?
Okay, so check this timeline out, and let me make sure I get it right. Okay, so I met him July. Did I meet him? Hold on, I got facts. Oh, you know what? I got it. So I met him July 7th. We got married July 21st, and like I said, I went out to a club. Like I don't usually go out to clubs. I went out to the club. He was different. Like he sent drinks over to us, and like we turned up. And then like being in the military so long, like although I've been in the military a lot, like I always skipped school and wanted to be around like the thugs and like, the niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I never felt protected as a Black woman. So I would hang around them a lot. So when I met him in Hawaii and felt his vibe, what question you got? Stop.
I got a question.
What?
Why? Okay. And this is what happens. Okay. Why Pookie and Ray Ray? I just gotta figure that out, because brothers gonna say, oh boy, she mentioned Pookie and Ray Ray. Why do you feel more protective of Pookie and Ray Ray? Could you explain?
No, not Pookie and Ray Ray, because not even
that. Well, that's what we call thugs nowadays. We call them Pookie and Ray Ray.
No, you got to realize, like, I've been in the Army so long, and I did a lot of deployment. So I would read them books about the hood niggas that done been through some shit, but they done turned into businessmen. You know what I'm saying? They on some straight and narrow type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you
want to reform Pookie and Ray Ray?
Yeah, like I want a nigga that can turn up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like he business, like that street shit's out the way now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I want you to be able to turn up because I've never felt protected. Like, I don't want that nigga like, nigga, I got a problem with this gas station, whatever happened here. And they're like, well, dear, let's just pray about it and let it go. No, like, you go up there and let it be known you my man.
Okay, if you got a problem, what you mean a problem at the gas station? You mean like if somebody's bothering you?
Station. So like recently I had a problem with, I went and got an oil change and like 4 new tires on my car or whatever. My car's a 2018 under warranty and all that. They pretty much got over. I done drove from where I'm at to Atlanta. Well, first Columbia, and then I dropped my daughter at Atlanta on some single moms tour shit. When I got to Columbia, my head turned real bad. I'm not thinking much of it. My check engine light came on. So then when I get to Atlanta, my head is booming, like hurting so bad. Like, what the fuck is going on? And my check engine light still coming on. So I'm like, okay, maybe when they did my oil change, they didn't reset the shit properly. But no, when I get up in the morning, and it's a bum squirrel involved in the story, but I'm gonna get into that later. Watch my YouTube. But then when I get into it, I go to the Atlanta dealership, I find out the man sends me a picture. My cap's upside down. They never even like set it on the right way. They just set it upside down. So from where I'm at, which is an hour from Savannah, where I'm at, I drove to Columbia with my stuff just moving all over the place. Then I drove to Atlanta with my stuff just moving all over the place. So then I got to pay them and get my stuff clean and get my engine clean and stuff. So then when I get back to the place in Savannah and I tell them about it, they basically tell me like, oh, well, we'll pay you for the oil change, and the Uber's mad that I even had to take 3 Ubers. And I'm like, I shouldn't have had to take none. But I'm upset because when I go up there, the guy that I'm talking to at the time, you know, let's keep it funky. I'm sucking and fucking on you like we doing all that. And you're not really providing for me. And then this is the same guy that I'm dealing with. He's mad because I won't say that I'm in a relationship because I'm still single if I'm doing everything by myself. But he can't even come up there, which is 15 minutes down the road from the dealership, and let his presence be known that he's my man or that a man's around, and like, y'all not gonna play with me like that. You know what I'm saying? Anything could have happened. And then I'm on the road with my daughter too. Anything could happen in that car.
Well, if you hold on, this is my opinion. If you are, you know, sucking and screwing anything else that you're doing with a man, I don't think you should have been at the dealership at all. See, my wife don't have to go to the dealership.
Right. Absolutely. And
that's not, to me, it's not a woman's place. That's a man's place.
And that's why he was one of my, you know, I thought I manifested him and all that. He was one of my better squirrels. But that's when I realized like my standards are even higher now because I shouldn't have to be dealing with this. No, like nobody realized, like as a Black woman, I don't want to be hard.
No, you just said squirrels, and that's why I'm laughing at, but go ahead.
Look, because that's what I call them. Like they always trying to get a nut and like stop trying to climb up this tree when you can't provide. They're squirrels. But that made me really realize, like, because as a female, like, let's say that the person that took your money or to like rung you up at the end of the day was a female, I would have turned up on her. Like, my nigga could have died. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't even come up there and be like, say anything. And then not to mention, I'm wearing that mask, so I'm already out of breath. You know what I'm saying? I got to take breaths. I say stuff over and over again. And then when I went back the second time telling I only want to talk to the owner, and let's mind you, my check engine light came on again after all that. When I say I want to talk to the owner, the manager, they bring the same motherfucker that ain't had no sympathy for me the first time.
Right. Well, you know, it's different ways of handling that. You know, I've had issues, but you know, it's like I say, men talking a certain way is a little bit different than women. I mean, I've seen how they try to treat women in those places like that. That's why, you know, if you're gonna be, you know, sucking and whatever else with a man, make sure he's a real man and not
absolutely
a male.
Right.
And also, I would say try to get a man that, you know, could do well for himself. And
I'm good by myself right now because I realize every time like I start lacking or my savings gets lower, it's because I'm supporting a man too. So
no, Tawana. No, I'm not gonna let you do that. No, you choosing men. That's
right. Absolutely. That's all on me. I don't blame none of them squirrels.
Well, what about
you?
Can you put Tawana? Let me ask you something. Can you just put yourself in a position to get chose instead of you choosing?
That's where I'm at now. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even talk shit about them. I don't even feel bad about everything that happened because I know that was just a lesson learned. I allowed all that to happen because somebody can only do what you let them do to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now that as I'm growing and I'm learning and like I'm a completely different person from the woman that I was last week. You know what I'm saying? I'm always like trying to feed my mind and be a better person. So that stuff that happened to me then, a nigga could never You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even on that right now. Like, I'm on my way to the millions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm focused
but
on me.
Tawana, something you said, and even Megan Thee Stallion saying this too, and I gotta interject for the brothers worldwide when I'm about to say this. See, I'm just listening to your track record based on the people you chose. Whether you young, naive, you didn't know. That's not my deal. So you're even though some things happened to you that was not your fault, and you was a victim as well. Based off your personal dealings and even in the military and different things, that was your dealings. But when you were saying earlier you don't feel protected by black men, let me tell you something. If I was somewhere and I saw some racist or somebody just harassing you, doing something to you, I would step in. I wouldn't say, oh, that's her problem. I would step in. I was like, hey, what the hell, man?
And I
Leave that
appreciate
stuff
that.
alone.
And
Like, what are you
I'm not
doing?
saying,
And there's a lot of brothers out there that would step in. Now, do you have some good for nothing dudes? Sure, you got them out there, but not every brother out.
I can't go off how you are because I've never interacted with you. I can only go what I've been through in my life experiences. You know what I'm saying?
So can you say the men I've dealt with in my life,
right? The men I've dealt with in my life have shown me and made me feel like I can't be protected as a black woman in America. That I have dealt with in my life.
No, I can't let you get away with that because you just said as a black woman, meaning
I have dealt with in my life.
Tawana, yes, your life.
You can't tell me nothing until I'm shown
Tawana,
that.
I'm not telling you nothing. I'm just saying words matter. Okay, when you say
absolutely, yes, let's get into that because they absolutely do.
Okay, so when you say as a black woman, saying basically you being inclusive, saying black woman, I say as okay. How
me
the right
as
way,
a black woman, nobody else, only me.
Okay, Tawana, got it. Okay, because
I can only speak of what I've been through. I can't speak of no one else's experiences.
Got you, and that's all. That's all I wanted to get to. No further than that. So you got married to the guy that quick. Why?
He made me feel protected. He really did. And this is the thing. I be laughing with my friends, but I thought I wanted a thug. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that nigga, he really was about that life. You know what I'm saying? And I really felt protected. Even when I'm in the military, he's checking people over me. You know what I'm saying? He's making me feel protected. But then now that I look back on stuff, the stuff that he was doing, nah, I'm good off that protection. You know what I'm saying? Because I always had me.
So you with a thug, you felt protected for a time, but then his lifestyle obviously got caught up with you. So tell me about the federal FBI. Tell me about that.
Okay, so his lifestyle didn't get caught up with me. And I know he genuinely loves me. You know what I'm saying? I talked to him recently, you know what I'm saying? And I know he genuinely loves me, but he didn't know how to love me with everything that he'd been through. So he's trying to live this life that he was living before he met me, and then still trying to have a life with me. But then I'm the type of person I am. I'm like, you got me fucked up. I've never been married before. I've been in the military almost 16 years at that time, and I've never been married. So, you know what I'm saying? I expect a certain type of thing. Nigga, you my husband. You supposed to be here when I cook dinner at night. Cause I'm that wife. I cook, I clean, you know what I'm saying? I look good. You know what I'm saying? All that. I do all that, and I'm loyal, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very considerate. I'm a nice person overall. I'm very caring and all that. So when I'm getting with you and I'm trying to see what's going on with you, and then I'm just being around you, when I tell you I'm wasting money, because I'm stationed in Hawaii. Hawaii's not cheap. And at the time, I had a bomb babysitter. When I tell you to the point, you're already watching my daughter during the day, then I could just cash app you some money. You know what I'm saying? And keep watching my daughter. And then she rolls over to the next day. I'm just on some stuff, living my best life. And I regret it to this day because, that's why I cherish every moment with my daughter now, because I'm really trying to be around him like that. And I'm not really knowing what's going on. I'll get hotel rooms in Waikiki where he's supposed to be working at or whatever, but then he'll never show up. And anybody know about being in Hawaii, when you get that room, you're not just paying for that room, you're paying a resort fee too. And you're paying parking. You know what I'm saying? So that starts to add up. But I'm not knowing what's going on with him, and I'm being naive. So then when I'm finally catching on to certain stuff, it's not that I'm in his business, but it's that y'all see me turning the fuck up on him because he got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's an extra throw, he's crazy, but I got PTSD. I got other stuff going on with me too from past experience. And then I'm not gonna act like I'm not crazy. I can be. I can be crazy, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff that we do. We would get into it, like.
Okay, so tell me the day that the FBI was knocking on your door. Tell me about that.
Oh my God, they weren't even knocking on my door. So the crazy part is the day before they even followed me, they basically had already, I was in the county. They some stuff had came up. Y'all gonna have to read the book because it is crazy. It was my first time ever, but some stuff had came up. I ended up getting out, catching the bus, and I caught the bus from the last place we were staying at. At this time, the Army wasn't paying me. Like, they had still had me on some AWOL stuff from when I had went to visit him in Delaware. And that's just a whole nother entity in its own. But I basically sent the Army a picture of me with a black eye, like my eye was shut. Like the Delaware police had got locked up because me and him got into it in the parking lot of Delaware, because at this time I had took out like 21,000 in my savings. But by the time I get there to chill with him, we're staying in the Red Roof Inn, and then to the point where we're staying in rental cars, like the rental car I rented. So now I have a problem with that because I've always had good credit. I always had good rental history, all that. Like, I don't know that other life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always had my own. So we're to the point where I can't even get back to Hawaii. And I'm in Delaware, his place, but I can't even get back to Hawaii because now the Army done made me AWOL.
Oh.
So I don't even have any money, you know what I'm saying? And when you're AWOL, you can't even do what is called an Army Emergency Relief. And that's like an AER loan. Well, like, they'll give you a check for what you need, and then you're able to handle whatever you got to handle. But since the Army had me AWOL, I'm no longer able to do that.
So you didn't call your your superiors and say, hey,
yes,
look,
I did call them. I even seeked help. I sent them a picture when he wasn't looking. I sent him a picture from his phone of my black eye, of my eye shut, like basically pleading for help.
And they said, nope, you're AWOL.
They made me AWOL. They said, you need to be back at this time. We need hospital records. There was a moment where I tried to kill myself. So he called 911 and I was in the hospital, and I'm telling him, like, there's no way I can be back by that day. I'm in the hospital.
Oh, so they didn't have, you couldn't even call an Army, not even none of the Army places in Delaware you couldn't even call?
Yeah, because I looked up the AR in Delaware, but when I tried to reach out to them, since I was AWOL status, they couldn't assist me because it's like I'm no longer in the military. Like, so why would you get a military assistance?
Oh, okay. To prove, so you have to basically, down the line, probably get a lawyer with that. Okay, so okay, they laid you as AWOL. Now, tell me about, like I said, let's get to the part of the feds though, because I know he basically got you in some old dusty situation. That's what it sounded like. Red Roof Inn. I said, Red Roof Inn. I said, man.
Right, but this is the thing. When he's not with me and I'm sending him money and stuff to like try to make him do better, because he was the host speaker of this event and this Witness to Innocent project. So I don't know. So I'm sending him money, and then like even as a friend, like you don't even have to be my nigga. Like as my friend, like I'm always helping my friends out and stuff. So I'm sending you money to get custom tailored suits and, you know what I'm saying, making sure you look good and stuff like that. But then I'm finding out like he's spending money in nice ass hotels at the casino, and you know them casino hotels a little higher.
Oh yeah,
like,
I know.
Like flossing, you know what I'm saying? But then when I get there, we all in the Red Roof Inn. We sneaking in continental places to get free breakfast.
So basically, sound like to me he was taking your money, spending it on his whores, and then when you get there, you getting the dusty treatment.
Right, but that's the thing, and that's why, like, even when the feds tried to make it like, oh, he did this, he did that, but like that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like I was sending him money. He ain't make me do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that was my fault because I was sending him money. But my biggest thing is how the Army did me, like when I was seeking help.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. They're not even trying to hear you out or even sending somebody to come see even what you're saying is even right.
Even helping the feds to the point, like my first sergeant wrote, yeah, she comes to work with black eyes, but instead of making it like this soldier's getting her ass beat by an ex-death row inmate that needs help, got mental fucking problems. The soldier got mental problems, PTSD on her own. You know what I'm saying? They making it like it's some pimp po shit.
Okay, so when the feds showed up, you know, with guns drawn.
Okay, so prior to that, okay, so it's December 13th. Like, I'm backing into my driveway. I'm on the phone with one of my best friends, and it's his death anniversary. Because, you know what I'm saying? He was on death row, so he had a death date. It's his death anniversary, December the 13th. So I decided, and I was a cook for so long, like I could get down in the kitchen. So I decided to cook him a meal. I back into the garage, and it's nighttime. I tell my friend, I'm gonna call you back once I get the food on the stove. Onika Henry, one of my best friends ever. She's like, okay, cool. So as soon as I hang up the phone with her, when I tell you it's guns from here, 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 and then it's dark, they're like, put your hands up, blah, 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 put your hands up. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, tell me what is going on. Like, I'm so confused. And then I hear boom. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? Because at this point, I could have easily opened the door because I got the keys. So then they're sending me out. They're taking me to the garage. They're doing all this extra shit. And I'm just like hysterical because at this point, I'm like, did they kill this nigga? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm hysterical. I'm screaming all this and that. And they're just keeping me in the garage and they're not saying nothing. So then like maybe like 20, 30 minutes later, like he comes outside dressed in a full fucking suit. And then from there, like, I ended up getting, and then when I tell you, it was, oh my God, they were everywhere. Like, it was a fucking movie. Like, they were on my roof. They were in the front. It was like a van. Like, they opened the van and hella, man, they all came out. Look, and then in Hawaii, they short as fuck. So they looking like little fucking, what's that Mario on fucking, whatever that show, Super Mario Brothers. They look like a whole bunch of little Marios or whatever, with all their black gear on stuff. So that's why I'm so Black Lives Matter. Like, I feel like that could have been me. You know what I'm saying? I could have been Breonna Taylor. Like, that could have been me shot or whatever. Like, I did nothing. And like my house was destroyed. And like anybody that know me know I got OCD. They tore my house up, like, and didn't find nothing but a grinder. And I still haven't seen this grinder till that day. The MPs ended up arresting me for drug paraphernalia. I got to the MPs. My first sergeant came and got me. They put me in the barracks. I had a guard outside my door. I couldn't leave or nothing. They just they treated me so bad after that raid. Like, I didn't even get the help I needed. I even like went to seek help because I felt like I was going to kill myself. Like, I was like, what else is left? And I have the paperwork to this day where one of the doctors came and wrote, yeah, she said that she suffers from severe trauma, like house being raided and PTSD, but shows no signs of PTSD.
Wow. So, okay. So what were you charged with?
I was charged with sexual, I mean, what was it? Sexual. What was it? What did I say it was? Hold on, let me see something because I wrote it down. I don't want to misconstrue my words. So I was charged with sex trafficking by fraud, force, and coercion. And then when I got locked up by the very first count, this was some Caucasian lady that there's no way I would ever turn tricks with her. But her one story got dismissed off rip. But towards the end of me being locked up, I had 3 counts altogether. 3 counts. 1 count was 15 years a count. So my 9 months there, I ended up occurring 3 different counts of sex trafficking by fraud, force, or coercion.
Wow. So so they blamed you because you were sending him money?
No, they blamed me because when they locked me up and they had me in the interrogation room, they told me to say that I was a victim. And since I wouldn't say I was a victim like I admitted, he didn't make me give him nothing. Like, they're pulling out all these bank statements, seeing how my account is depleting. My account's getting lower because I've always been good. You know what I'm saying? Like, my check-ins will have like 10,000. My savings will have like 10,000. If it's under a certain amount, I wouldn't feel good. My savings will be like 8,000. They see where it's depleting. I done took out a TSP, which from every deployment or whatever, I'm just putting money in there to save up of 21,000. They see where all that's going. I'm asking my friends to borrow money, like all that's gone. But since I wouldn't say that I was a victim of his, they said, okay, you're his partner.
Okay. So then they hit you with all those charges because you basically you wouldn't snitch or whatever how they want you to do it. Basically saying snitch or something like that.
Right. And then the point that we were married, and he told me recently, he said the only he fought hard with his ex-death row case, which because he's always pro se, he got himself off. The reason he fought so hard is because how they had me in there too. Like he was like, that shit broke his heart because he knew like I'm so square, like I was just Army. You know what I'm saying? That's all I knew. So he was like, he knew I didn't know nothing going on. So even at times when they wanted me to say stuff, I'm like, I don't know. Like there will be times where I would cook fucking dinner for him and he wouldn't be home. And that's why even when they had my 16-year-old son lying, like saying like he had a gun on the table, I'm like, when? He never was home.
Well, let me ask you a question. So you went through that 9 months. How did you beat the case?
Well, he went pro se again. My first attorney, I fired him because he told me, and let's put this out there. Before this stuff even happened, I was supposed to PCS to Fort Hood, Texas. So me being a single parent, I'm a planner and I always make sure that I'm good. So I sent my daughter to her godmother in North Carolina around November timeframe. I was supposed to PCS in February. I would have had been in Hawaii for 4 years at the time. You're supposed to do a 3-year tour. So I was supposed to PCS. So I had my daughter there. I was like, can you watch my daughter's godmom was asking for her anyway. So my daughter was in place. I was supposed to PCS. And before all that even happened, this stuff just really took off. So I just thank God my daughter wasn't there at the time, because had my daughter been there, like I feel like it would have been completely different. But with everything that happened, like from the beginning, the feds knew. They knew that I didn't do nothing wrong. Like I've never been in trouble in my life besides like speeding tickets and stuff. So them putting me in there, it was really a scare tactic, even from the very beginning, them putting me in the hole. You know, they put me in a hole as a, what is it called? I guess an intimidating thing. Like, cause I didn't know what was going on. Then I was so confused, but me being how I am, like, I don't know. I'm very good at adapting and adjusting. Like I really treated that 9 months like a deployment. And I'm not gonna lie, like it was easy, because being away from my kids was the hardest thing ever, especially when I get a call like 7-8 months into the sentence, and well, into the time being incarcerated, and I find out my daughter's deadbeat sperm donor came and took her, kicking and screaming with the cops.
Wow, that's crazy. So when you beat that case, like and they told you your charges are dropped, you're free to go. Like how did you feel that day?
It was bittersweet because October the 7th, this is after trial had been going on for about 30 days. They found out that the very first witness that said that I used to turn Johns with her and all this extra stuff, they found out that she was getting paid to stay in Hawaii. The lead detective was throwing away notes that we couldn't have access to properly defend ourselves. They found out that someone saw us on TV and then said that she was a victim and she was in a juvenile detention. So she got sent to a better facility in LA, in California, like a treatment facility instead of a juvenile detention center. Found out that they were paying witnesses to lie. When I tell you, like, this is a whole movie, the stuff that they were doing, and I'm just so blessed to even be here right now, because I really was looking at 15 years per count and I had 3 freaking counts.
Hey, that's crazy. So after you look back at everything, it would be safe to say, like, to tell young women, what would you tell them about getting involved with guys who are thugs or involved with crime? What would you tell them? The young lady.
My God, getting involved with anyone, period. Just make sure you get to know them. Because I feel like first of all, make sure you're in tune with yourself and you love yourself. You got to love yourself wholly. Because when you love yourself inside out wholly, can't nobody else tell you shit about you. So until you have that, you shouldn't even be dating anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because it took me, and yeah, it might seem like a long time. It took me till I was 38 going through that to really love me, because I never had that upbringing of like encouragement of when you do good, like people telling you did good. I never had that. So I always seek that from other people. And you know what I'm saying? And then it feels extra great when it's from a man. But now when I realize like you don't need a man to complete you, because you're good enough. And like my biggest thing in life is like just pleasing God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really was like fucking with like this bum nigga one time, even after I had been wrongfully incarcerated, like taking care of him, all this stuff. And this nigga had Crohn's disease. So imagine a nigga having Crohn's disease, shitting all over himself, and then treating you like shit too. And I thought it was one of them situations where God wanted me to take care of somebody, because I've been through some shit in my life, but I'd never been like physically hurt or never been physically sick. So I thought God wanted me to like feel his pain, because he said his shit like worse than a female's period cramps. And I had cramps just yesterday. When I tell you I was done for it, like I felt like I was gonna die. So I had sympathy for his situation. But then when I was seeing how he was treating me and just little stuff he was doing, like I was uncomfortable. Anybody make you uncomfortable in your own space, like I'll never be uncomfortable, make somebody else comfortable again. You know what I'm saying? So when I really was like doing some shit one day, and I swear to God, like, you know what I'm saying? God is my witness, he know. But God was like, you think that's all you deserve? Like, you think that's all that I'm capable of giving you? So when you really truly understand what you are and who you are and everything that you deserve, you desire, you deserve it. You know what I'm saying? You believe it, you manifest it. And the fact that you can reciprocate it, you're going to get it. So until you get that, like, just be by yourself. Like, you don't need nobody to complete you. And that's the best advice I can give to anybody, because I thought I needed a man to get a house or to do this or to do that. But the whole time I would only be doing bad when I'm trying to take care of somebody else. My relationships will fail with my children when I'm trying to take care of somebody else and be around somebody else that don't even mean me no good. So you really got to love yourself and know exactly who you are. Because when you know that, like, you're not putting up with nothing. And that's why I can sit up here right now, because people, friends had me thinking like, why are you fighting the feds? Oh, you should be happy with your disability, blah, blah, blah. But now that I realize I'm the one that went through that and can't nobody tell my story but me, like, I don't give a fuck who got to say what about what. I went through that shit. So if I'm telling my story and it's helping somebody, then that's all that matters. Because my whole mission is to be a walking billboard for God. Because I know he the only one that got me out of that fucking fed time. I was looking at 15 years per count. And I wasn't being loyal over love. I was being loyal because it's the right thing to do. Like, I love my Black people. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I don't have no chart, I don't have nothing. Like, I'm free to do whatever. Ever since that incarceration, yeah, I was homeless for 13 months, whatever. I had to figure it out. But now I'm here. I'm in a nice ass house. Like, I'm about to own my own house. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I have an anonymous hotline to talk to people about problems and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just out there really trying to save one more person. You know what I'm saying? If my story does that, then it's worth it. It's not even about the money. Like, justfully, yes. Like, I'm owed this stuff. Like, I should have retired. Like, I made a lot of sacrifices on purpose. I made a lot of sacrifices leaving my son at the time for this. I made a lot of sacrifices, even leaving my daughter at an early age, because at the end of the day, I wanted them to be good. And I'm struggling with little stuff because of stuff that I was charged with that I did not do. And I'm still paying the price for it today. I can't even get into a gate and go to the commissary in the PX because of this charge. And I did nothing wrong. I'm still suffering from it. And this makes no sense. So even this whole story, like, if y'all don't take nothing else from it, just take the fact that there's a plan. Like, there's a plan for your life. Like, God has a plan for everybody. Because even when I thought that it was over, like, I thank God that I went through that stuff now. Because without going through that stuff, like, I wouldn't be here right now to tell y'all my story.
Yeah, your story is definitely a cautionary tale. It's definitely a lot of issues that happen in the Black community for sure. If anything else, like how I look at it, just me, because I'm always thinking about money, careers, investments, etc. I say this much: in the future, please just invest your money into your business and your children,
right?
and not
Yes,
for man.
please,
Like let the man invest into you, not the other way around. And also, just for me, hearing your
Look, I'm
story.
on all that now, so give it to
Okay,
me. I appreciate it. I'm on all, like, look, and that's the thing. Like, people be like, "Oh, you're too picky. You're never gonna get that." Blah blah blah. What to even talk to me? Like, I have a certain requirement because I know I can reciprocate that to even talk to me. And people be like, "Oh, you ain't never gonna get that." Even your little Peter, he tried to play me, told me something. You gonna get a short man? No, I have a requirement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a requirement, everything. Like, I'm not settling for nothing. Like, I know my king's coming. I'm not even on that right now. Like, I'm focused on building and branding because, like, I know I know I'm amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm a good person. I know everything I went through, you know what I'm saying, was for a purpose, and I'm about to fulfill it. So at the end of the day, the Fed's not God. They really fucked with the wrong person, because I'm never gonna shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was to a point where I would feel bad, because when I tell you, and it's sad that it's our Black people too, those were my biggest haters. Oh, she deserved that. She ruined our marriage, blah, blah, blah. When I'm like, I don't even know you. The only people that can ruin a marriage is two people in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Even getting out. And that's what I was telling somebody earlier. Like, it's different when you're locked up and you can't see the shit they're talking. You know what I'm saying? But then when you're out and you're trying to like move forward, and you can't even really wallow in your sympathy, you can't even really go through that, because I got my daughter back from a stranger. I had to bounce back quick and figure it out. Cry in the shower, figure it out. You're a single mom, you're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure my daughter's straight and she don't feel none of it. So I never even really get to deal with my issues that I have. Because what if I go tell somebody everything I'm going through? Y'all gonna take my daughter?
No, I mean, you tell somebody in the right setting, like professional or.
I don't know, but I'm just saying that's how I feel. Even with the military, I gave them 17 years of my life, and they were helping the feds.
Of course, because they are the feds. why wouldn't they help the feds and they the feds?
Shut up! I never looked at it like that. But you,
I mean, come on, they're not separate entities. It's all the same system. But for me, just listening to your story and hearing everything that you've been through, you know, a lot of it's very upsetting for me, because as a, like, say, just to go back as a parent, man, listen, I would in you go meet Black Jesus fooling around with my children. Sorry. So you act accordingly, because I believe I protect my son, I protect my daughters. I hurt somebody behind that. Sorry.
Right,
I can't, I couldn't even, and just for me also, just hearing everything, it kind of you kind of choices you've made, things you've done. And even toward the end, you lost basically your career that you've been working for, you know, for years, over a dude out here thugging and involving in some crimes that got you caught up in something that you had nothing to do with
at all. Knew that. That's the most heartbreaking part. They knew that.
No,
but
you didn't know. You say you didn't know, but you knew he was thugging, though, right?
No, I'm saying they knew that I didn't do nothing, but they also knew that me being in there would, like, really, I don't know what they thought, but me being in there with him, like, really sparked some other shit. Like I said, he got himself off death row pro se. He did this case pro se too. And then even my attorney, the second one I had, she couldn't understand why I didn't want a jury trial. Like, I was called all type of stupid bitches, and he's gonna ruin your life, and you're gonna go to jail for years, and you might as well just say you did that. But my pride wouldn't let me. I'm like, nah, I know I didn't do that. Because let's be real. Let's be really real. I know what I'm capable of. I know how I look, and I have some badass friends. So the people that was trying to put off on that I was fucking around with, or, you know what I'm saying, would have been tricking off with, I would have never. I'm not even racist, but I don't have no one white friend that I vibe with. And I don't even have friends like that. I fuck with a selective few that are loyal and like they've been loyal. So for them to put that narrative out there and stuff, like, it's really mind blowing. I really feel like the same witnesses that y'all was paying to say all this, and they sat up on the stand and held their hands and all the other stuff. And nigga, I'm from Philly, and put it on Mook and all this other shit. I'm from Detroit and shit. Them same people that was still on the stand, I feel like the same punishment I would have got for getting in trouble had I been found guilty, y'all need to get in trouble with for perjury.
Yeah, I feel you. So Tawana, like I said, ooh boy, you got a story, like I said, and but I like your personality and the way you express yourself. Don't change that. You know, if you gotta cuss people out, do that, express yourself. I like that about you. Trust me, I do. Tell people, how they can check out your business and Instagram, just so if they may want to ask you some questions or want to find out, whenever your book come out. Can you give us that?
Yes. Well, right now I have an online store. It's called iamtawana.com. You don't even have to put the www in there. Just iamtawana.com. I'm really revamping it right now because my 1-year anniversary will be October the 31st. It's a store that when I got it, I really was homeless at the time, and somebody that I was in the Army with, they really believed in me. So they placed it in my lap. Just recently, maybe about a month ago, I started taking it serious because I remember being in court and I would be doodling stuff like, instead of listening to the lies and stuff, because it's hard to sit up in there and like hear people lying on you and you can't say nothing. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be in my book. I had one outburst because I snapped, because like it's only so much you can take as a human. But I was so big on my faith with God, like I would literally sit there doodling stuff like the feds ain't God, God is my main ingredient, stuff like that. I have 3 prison boos from that experience. So if nothing else comes from this, I have 3 prison boos that I still put money on their books. I still take care of them. Shout out to Evie, Skittles, and Ty. Y'all are coming home soon. I love y'all. I still do video calls with them. You know, they still inspire me, encourage me. Evie helped me with the fellowship Gossiping to God that we started in there, even though the guards tried to shut it down, saying inmates can't run programs and shit, but whatever. We took it to the library. Don't try to play with us. But I'm just really out here to like help people, motivate people, inspire people. I also have, I'm starting an anonymous phone line right here. IamTawana.com, where people can just call in and talk about their problems like that. I'm setting up the link later. This will all be out October the 31st. I also started a podcast. It's on Anchor called IamTawana.com. It's just basically gonna be like keeping it authentic about my squirrel chronicles, just being real and, you know, going through my life experience with y'all and, you know, hoping some of y'all can relate or I can help y'all. Also, my YouTube, I Am Tawana, that's coming out. I'm having videos edited right now. There should be 1 video up right now. So just check me out and support me. And I'm also going to start a GoFundMe soon. So that'll be in the link also.
All right. And one thing I will tell you about that GoFundMe, Tawana, if I hear you giving another dime to some Negro, okay? If I catch it, I'm gonna go off on you.
Look, you just made me tingle even thinking about it. I'm gonna go off on myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in on you. I don't think you want me to go in on you because I got an audience.
You ain't gotta worry about that. When I tell you like I'm on it, like that's the thing. Like it might take me a little bit, and I know I had to go through them lessons. Like I hated some of them were expensive. Some of them, like, first of all, don't claim me. Like we ain't got no kids together. It never happened. But you know what I'm saying? Like I went through that. That's whatever. But like now, me being me, like they thought I was a problem before. Like you could never. Like, and then I'm not even on that. So like, it's going to take a lot for somebody to even be in my realm. Cause I know I'm going to the next level. Like I just seen 12-12 that time and then 11-11.
Okay. All right. Because I'm gonna have to do a whole video called Dear Sisters, Stop
and you
taking care of a man.
Look, you can.
Lord, I didn't know that was a problem for some, like, and I've heard this before, but you really kind of broke it down like it was a constant for you. Literally doing that. So yeah, I need to address that issue because
I did it 3 different times, 3 different squirrels.
You're making me laugh saying squirrels. That's funny. That is funny. But ladies and gentlemen, like so, we'll put the links in the pinned comment. You know, with Miss Tawana here. Like I said, you keep your head up and keep grinding online and making your bread. Like I said, trust me, if you can make the remainder of your life a lot better than what you went through. So
absolutely,
just no more squirrels and no more Pookie Ray Ray thugs, and you'll be all right.